because there was no excuse for leaving over food. You may notice that I'm a little challenged, thanks to my mother. Thanks, Mom. Me and my sister often joked about, and I don't say this, that we grew up around greeners. All my parents' friends were Holocaust survivors as well, and we knew that after Shabbos on a Saturday night, my uncle, who was the only one in the family that could drive, himself a Holocaust survivor, had one of those big boats called a Bonneville. Do you remember the Bonneville, those cars? And Rabbi Perelmuters and the Wolkowitzes would pack in their 10 people. No one was allowed to talk. He's driving. Right? He's driving, and of course no air conditioning, because that would have to use your hand while you're driving. So 10 of us would be sitting there in the heat in Montreal, and we would go Saturday night to visit more Holocaust survivors, and that's how we would spend our Saturday nights. Listening to stories and experiences. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll never forget the Friday nights. My father would go to shul, and my sister and I, my mother, I was a little kid. We would lay in bed on a Friday night, and my mother would sing the songs that they sang in the ghetto. On the Friday nights, they couldn't go to shul. They would gather together, huddle, and we would huddle in the bed. My mother would sing, and once we learned the songs, we would sing with her. Some of those songs are printed today here in this booklet. And she would tell stories. She decided early on that she would not keep it from us. There were parents that kept stories of the Holocaust. They wouldn't share. My father never shared. But my mother shared with us. She felt that we could take it, that we needed to know, that we were going to one day be the witnesses. We were one day going to carry the flag of remembrance. And she talked and talked and talked. My mother never gave up on life. She worked. I never remember my mother sitting down. She was always active, running, coming, going, working, cleaning, cooking, more cooking. We had 4 people in the family, but she cooked like for an army. Always cooking, always feeding us. She became an ardent Zionist. Pity the guy that came into my house and I would criticize Israel. I would say, listen, you better get out of here alive. Leave the door, because my mother is going to kill you. She joined every women's organization, the Mona Women, Hadassah, every group that she could think of joining. And when my father went to Israel, I went with her first. And I remember when we got off the plane, my mother came to Jerusalem, how she cried at the Kotel. She would never believed in a million years through the ghetto, Auschwitz and Bergen-Belsen, that she would come to a place that was under Jewish dominion, that we had a Jewish country. She never allowed the sadness to affect us. She always told us that we need to strive and produce and be successful, keep going. She had a fantastic sense of humor. A sense of humor for a Holocaust survivor. She played with my grandchildren, with my children, and then with my grandchildren. And even in the last few years, when my mother suffered from dementia, and she already had forgotten all about the horrors that she experienced, and I would go back and I would sit with her and I would look in her eyes, and every once in a while there would be like a gleam, an opening, an understanding, something that was there, there was clarity. I always thought to myself that what my mother was saying to me is, Al tishkacheni, don't forget me. Don't forget what we did. Don't forget what happened to us. Keep it going. Keep the hope living. And now she's gone. And I stand here. And I become the witness. I become the testimony for Shmuel and Rachel Perelmuter, 2 survivors and the hundreds of relatives and families that died before them. That's a face, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Holocaust. Today I stand here and I say, Zachor, I remember, Ma. I remember everything that you told me. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to do your part. And as I look around, I see that there are people like me, Holocaust survivors, children of Holocaust survivors. There are Holocaust survivors. They should be well and live till 180 years old. We need them so much. Second generation, third generation. I encourage you to please continue telling the story. Never stop telling their story. To the children, to my grandson and to my children and to the other children here. Today and tomorrow and the next day we pass you the torch. Hold that torch high and proud. Yes, there's been much bloodshed in our history. But these people never gave up hope for a better tomorrow. They would not want us to wallow in our own misery and our sadness. They would want us to go out and to build, to produce, to show the world that you can put us down, but you can't keep us down. That what kind of a people that 3 years after suffering a tremendous calamity like this, after the almost extermination of a third of our people, we were able to raise a flag, the Magen David, and stand under that flag and sing the Hatikva. Only a people who have resolved that evil could only exist if we do nothing. And hope will only die if we do nothing. Hope. When there's no hope, a Jew creates hope. And that is the message that we need to take today. Every one of us, young, old, Jew, non-Jew, religious, not religious, whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you go. The world needs to remember there are elements now that are trying to deny this, to say that this never happened, that Israel will not exist. The only way they will be successful is if we remain silent. We will not remain silent. We will talk, and we will do, and we will build, and we will produce, and we are going to see this to the end. This is our pledge. And to the 6 million who died innocently, blamelessly, for nothing except for the sin of being a Jew, we say to you today, you are alive in us. Ma, you are alive in me. Every time we sing a song of hope, you are there. Every time we raise the flag of the Magen David, the flag of Israel, you are there. Every time a Jewish child prays from a siddur, reads from the Torah, does a mitzvah, you are there. Under every chuppah, at every birth, at every bris, at every bat or bar mitzvah, at every Jewish occasion, there are 6 million holy souls that are present. They are here with us today. You will always be with us. We will never forget you. Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you very much.